Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about the new video game consoles that are coming out this week that many people are talking and being very excited about. Two new consoles come out, one from PlayStation, one from Microsoft. We've talked about both in separate videos, and today we're going to talk more about Xbox. The Xbox comes from Microsoft. They just came out with one called Series X, and it has a pretty interesting story that's been going around that I want to get into and address. Basically, what people have been talking about is there's been images and videos of Xboxes that have been kind of having smoke come off the top of them, and they've been shared for a variety of reasons. Some people are kind of making jokes and saying, oh my god, the Xbox is on fire, it's so hot. People already talked about how they kind of run hot and they have these big fans. These new consoles, this new generation has a lot of power to them. They're very strong. They're pushing 4K, sometimes 60 to 120 frames a second, and it requires a fast machine that needs a big fan, a lot of ventilation. And the way that Microsoft pulled that off was making this square system with a bunch of holes on top, and those holes were controversial for another reason, because there was this whole video we talked about someone getting triggered by holes. There's people that are afraid of holes or something like that. That's besides the point. But today we're talking about that again, and we're talking about how smoke's been coming out of certain Xboxes, but I don't think it's really because of fires or because of overheating or anything like that. I think people have been sharing fake videos or joke videos or videos that are something different. In fact, one person figured out, and when he found the source video, one of the videos was actually someone vaping and blowing the vape smoke into the Xbox and it coming up through the ventilation up out the top. That was the kind of first instance that this came out, and then that video turned into people sharing it for other reasons, making jokes, pretending it was overheating or blowing smoke or something like that. But really, this one is about someone vaping and blowing vape into their Xbox, and that's a bad thing too, and that's actually what's caused Microsoft to respond, and that's where we're going to get more information on this story. This article says, Microsoft responds, please don't blow vape smoke into your Xbox Series X. Videos circulating purporting to show the next generation game console overheating and spewing smoke. It turns out people were likely just vaping into their Xbox. So people thought it was smoke. As we said, they're trying to put this joke out there, maybe even like a scam out there saying these Xboxes are on fire. But really, they're blowing this vape smoke that looks like regular smoke. It's actually from those vaporizers. A lot of people have these vapes now. It's super popular the last few years. They essentially are these, you get these oils and you have this electric pen that heats them up and you kind of vape it, is what they call it. It's not actually smoking like a cigarette or something else. It's actually vape. It's actually supposed to be better for you, but people actually vape so much it becomes its own problem. But the point is, this situation, this video, you could see a picture right here. That's the Xbox. That's the holes on top. Apparently, if you go off to the side, you can blow a little vape and it'll come up through the Xbox. But that's going to be bad for your system. You don't want that in there. Obviously, that's why Microsoft is against it. You don't want something bad going through your system. It should just be clean air to kind of cool it off. And it's just funny that people are taking it this far, that Microsoft had to step in, that this meme is getting so overblown, but it's interesting nonetheless. So let's keep talking about it after we read on into this story. The Xbox Series X is only 2 days old, and Microsoft has already been forced to tell people to not blow vape smoke into their consoles. Really, as the next generation Xbox became available on Tuesday, videos started to emerge on the social media of consoles overheating and spewing smoke through its vents up top. People began to quickly question whether the videos were fake, and a Spanish language Twitter account called Xbox Studio, not an official Xbox account, showed how the smoky effect that people were claiming to be caused by overheating was more likely being achieved through blowing vape smoke into the console. So this is the demonstration. This is the video that we saw. He's kind of myth-busting. You don't really need the audio because I think he speaks another language, Spanish, but just check out the video. You could see the Xbox on his desk. You could see it hooked up to his TV right there. This is a desk monitor / TV. He's clicking through it and he's got the vape in his hand, and you could see that if you just blow it up on the side, it'll come out. And this is the Xbox. This is the square I was talking about, how it has all the holes on top for ventilation. I believe you can lay it on its side too, but I think this way is the best way to angle it. It seems like this is a more freestanding kind of console. It looks interesting. It's definitely different than any console you've seen. Like the square kind of way it is interesting. It's actually kind of fitting for Xbox. It is supposed to be a box. So the fact that it's square, there it is going up through the bottom. So the fact that it is a square does make sense, and the Xbox name goes along with it. You could see the vape going through it. I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's very much not safe for your system. Xbox is obviously going against that, but I think it might not do too much. It is just air. It is just vape, but that stuff could stick in there clearly. It's kind of something that might happen happen though if you're just in a room of someone who's vaping. This is what happens when people smoke in the room with their games or their computers or something. The fan will inevitably get some of that through there. Now, it's obviously far different if you get right up to it and blow it straight in, but this is the joke that's happening, and I think it just has to do with how big this fan is and the ventilation on it and the way it has holes on the top like that. It's the kind of system that can actually do that. You can't do that on a regular PlayStation or something. It won't suck up the air like that. There it goes. Pretty cool. Xbox Studios debunking video was retweeted over 3,000 times as of Wednesday, of course, leading to a few folks trying their own DIY Xbox vape. We can't believe we have to say this, the official Xbox account tweeted on Wednesday, but please do not blow vape smoke into your Xbox. Aaron Greenberg, head of marketing for Xbox, tweeted, "Put down the vape and pick up the controller. Too true, Aaron, too true." And I think this is the sign to show that it's just funny. I can't believe people are this not smart. They're putting this kind of bad chemical through their Xbox. They just spent so much money on it. They're probably $500, $600 in the hole for this thing, and they're blowing vape through it just for a little video. I think that goes to show the kind of level of intellect these kinds of fans have. It also goes to show imitation and how these memes can spread on the internet and get people to copy them and want to do that. I mean, I think once or twice doing that isn't a big deal, but if you keep showing your friends and doing it, you might break your system, and I doubt you're going to get it fixed or repaired properly, or you shouldn't, because you're violating the terms and you're breaking it yourself by endangering it. When asked for a comment about videos alleging to show the Xbox smoking, a Microsoft spokesperson on Wednesday morning said that the company takes all product safety reports seriously and was investigating further. The Xbox Series X launched Tuesday alongside the smaller, cheaper, and less powerful Series S. The Series X will set you back $500, while the Series S with no disk drive or 4K is a more affordable $300. The PlayStation 5 follows on Thursday. So this was a few days before that. This is a story about the Xbox controversy, the whole vaping situation. I think it goes to show a couple of things. First, that people are excited about these systems. Everyone's talking about PlayStation and Xbox this week. That's cool. I like that stuff too. But to take it to the next level, I think it's showing that it's getting into the normie area and it's getting into this vaping crowd, and people are trying to make these hoaxes, these kinds of fake news stories like it's smoking. It reminds me of the story about the PlayStation 5 bricking and stopping for this YouTuber. We did a video about that. It might have come out already or is coming out soon. And essentially everyone jumped on board to that PlayStation story. Like one YouTuber lost their PlayStation and it turned into this big story that every outlet covered. It almost seemed like everyone's PlayStations were breaking. But what I found out in that video was it was actually the same guy getting referenced in like a dozen articles. And I think this kind of goes along with that. People are trying to pick these consoles apart, come up with drama stories, make it look like they're failing or smoking in this case, or having issues. So it's a very, very interesting time. It's very exciting too, and fun too. But this kind of story should be something that we can avoid. We don't need more of this kind of fake drama, this fake news, and people talking about Xbox acting like it's failing when it's really not. It seems like a fine console. Again, I'm not getting one. I'm not getting one real soon. I would love to have all these consoles, but I have a kid on the way. I can't just throw away $1,000 to get an Xbox and a PlayStation when there's not even a lot of games I want to jump into on them. I have a lot of other games I want to play on my other systems. I have a PS4, I have the Xbox One, I have the previous generation, I have a Switch, I have a lot of games. So it's likely I could get these one day, but unless they really push it to the limit and give me something new that I can only get there, I doubt I'm going to get Xbox because their exclusives are kind of lacking lately. I don't know if they're going to be able to step it up on this generation. I hear they're trying and buying a lot of studios and they could get a lot more exclusives, but Xbox tends to release their games also on PC. So that's an easy avenue for me to play a lot of these games. I plan on updating my PC sometime soon, probably in the next year. And then that one will be a beast computer that could run these games once they come to that platform. In addition, PlayStation is more of a maybe because they do have better exclusives traditionally. I don't know if that's going to hold true in future generations. Things are getting competitive. Microsoft's trying to compete a lot more, which is great, but it is a very interesting time also because these consoles are new. Even though we're getting a lot of drama and fake stories and over exaggeration, it is possible these first generations, these first iterations of this generation could fail. That happens a lot with first systems. They have a lot of bugs to work out. At least wait for a couple months or a year for them, and then they'll really work all the bugs out, maybe even come with a new version of the system. But for now, that about wraps things up. I think you guys get the point. Xbox story is kind of debunked. These smoking stories aren't really proven or actual actually factual. And it also had turned into the gamers doing these silly things that Microsoft had to tell them to stop, showing the level of brain power that community kind of has. And I think that's funny and interesting and worth noting. And that's why I wanted to talk about it today. So that about wraps things up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Tell me what you think about Xbox. Are you going to get the new Series S or Series X? What games are you going to play? What do you think about these new systems and all this drama surrounding them? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button if you enjoy this video. And until next time, have a great day.